Greetings, children. This is the second part of your lesson, Bringing Up Kari. If you did not watch the first part, the link is given in the description box. You can watch it. The second part deals with some mischiefs that Kari did in the narrator's house. Let us go to the textbook. Kari was like a baby. Baby in the sense of a human baby. He had to be trained to be good, and if you did not tell him when he was naughty, he was up to more mischief than ever. One characteristic of Kari is described here. He was like a baby, and he should be trained to be good. And if you did not tell him when he was naughty, there is the possibility of he showing more mischief. So look at these two words, mischief and naughty. Two are the synonyms for pranky. The naughty things that little children do. It is described as naughty or mischief. If you did not correct him on time, there is a tendency to do more like that. Look at the question. What characteristic of a baby is attributed to Kari? Kari is like a baby. There is a tendency to do some mischief. And if you don't find out at the same time and rectify it, there is the tendency to do it more or repeat it. So, like a baby, we have to rectify his wrongs on time. That characteristic of human baby is attributed to this elephant. Come back to the textbook. For instance, one day, somebody gave him some bananas to eat. This happened. Some visitor there gave him a banana to eat. Very soon, he developed a great love for ripe bananas. Immediately after eating the first banana, he had developed a tendency or a great love for ripe bananas. Ripe here means the opposite of raw banana. That is sweet banana. We used to keep large plates of fruit on a table near the window in the dining room. This is the custom, or this is the practice. This is the practice with the narrator's house. They keep in a large plate bananas on the dining. One day, all the bananas on the table disappeared, and my family blamed the servants for eating all the fruit in the house. One day, unexpectedly, all the bananas disappeared, and the parents of the narrator put the blame on the servants. Blamed means accused that they did this crime. They complained. The servants did this thing. A few days later, the fruit disappeared again. But after a few days, it happened again. This time, the blame was put on me. But this time, the accusation fell on the narrator. And I knew I had not done it. And the narrator knew well that he did not do it. He hadn't done it. He was very sure of it. It made me very angry with my parents and the servants, for I was sure they had taken all the fruit. The narrator thought that the servants would have taken all the fruit, but the blame was on him. So he felt angry on not only with his parents but also with the servants. The next time the fruit disappeared, I found a banana all smashed up in Kari's pavilion. When a third time the bananas disappeared from the dining table, Kari found a smashed up banana in the pavilion of Kari. This surprised me. Smashed, you know what is the meaning of smashed? that is crushed up banana he found in Kari's pavilion. This surprised me very much, for I had never seen fruit there. That really surprised the narrator because he had never seen such fruit in the pavilion or with Kari. As you know, he had always lived on ticks because in his knowledge, this Kari had lived till now on ticks that he collected from the forest. So it surprised him. Look at this question. Why did the narrator's family blame the servants for stealing the bananas? Can you give some reason for this? Why did the parents of the narrator put the blame on the servants? Because the disappearance of bananas from the dining table, they couldn't find any other way to blame on. Nobody visited there maybe, and one person that any other could not eat this much of banana, so they blamed naturally on the servants. Do you agree or not agree with this blame? If so, why? Without any evidence, without a clear proof, the narrator's parents blamed on the servants. So, can you agree with this blame? No, we can't. Especially the case of stealing. That is very sensational. Without any evidence. Evidence means clear evidence. We are not supposed to put blame on anybody. So what the narrator's parents did was wrong in this situation. Look at the next question. Why did the narrator feel angry with his parents and the servants? First, they put the blame on the servants. When the bananas disappeared on the second time, they put the blame on the narrator. And he knew well that he didn't do it. So naturally, he became angry. He showed his anger towards his parents and the servants because both of them blamed the narrator for the crime. Fourth question. Give an example of narrator's observation skill. What was the observation skill? One day he found a smashed banana in Kari's pavilion. So from then onwards, a little doubt generated in his mind. Who could be the culprit? Who could be the wrongdoer? So that observation skill of narrator, you have to notice here. Look at the next paragraph. Next day, while I was sitting in the dining room, wondering whether I should take some fruit from the table. Next day, when he was alone at the dining table, and he was wondering whether he wanted to take a fruit from the basket or not, without my parents' permission. So he doubted whether he took a banana or not without the permission of his parents. A long black thing, very much like a snake, suddenly came through the window and disappeared with all the bananas. Immediately he saw that a black thing, something like a huge snake, that came through the window and took away all the bananas at one stretch. I was very much frightened. Actually, the narrator was frightened. Frightened means feared, because I had never seen snakes eat bananas. Because in his experience, he had never heard or he had never seen that snakes eat banana. I had never seen snakes eat bananas, and I thought it must be a terrible snake. So first he thought that it would definitely a terrible snake that would sneak in. Sneak in means that stealthily come in. without others' notice, that is sneakily or stealthily, came in and take fruit. I crept out of the room because he was terrified. He was frightened and he crept out of the room as he made a run. He was really doing that he crept out of the room. With great fear in my heart, ran out of the house. Then he ran out of the house, feeling sure that the snake would come back into the house, eat all the fruit and kill all of us. He thought that it was an enormous snake. It would come back and eat all the bananas and eat the people also. So he was frightened and ran away from the dining room. Look at this question. What would the narrator think of the sneaked thing into the dining table? The sneaked thing into the dining table. Sneaked means that came secretly without others' notice. The narrator thought that it would be a large snake that would come back and eat the bananas and kill all the inmates of the house. So he ran away from there. Look at the next paragraph. As I went out, I saw Kari's back disappearing in the direction of the pavilion, and I was so frightened that I wanted his company to cheer me up. When he came out of the house, he saw this Kari disappearing into his pavilion. And he ran towards the pavilion to get the company of this elephant. But what he saw there was something surprising. He saw this elephant was simply entering the pavilion just now. I ran after him into the pavilion and found him there eating bananas. When he ran after him and entered the pavilion, he saw that this Kari, he was eating the stolen bananas. I stood still in astonishment. Astonishment here means shocked. Watching this scene, he was really astonished. He was really startled. He was really shocked. The bananas were lying strewn all around him. The bananas that the elephant took from the dining table, that is strewn. Strewn here means that it distributed everywhere. Strewn, lying strewn. Strewn is the archaic word, and now it is used as strewn, all around. He stretched out his trunk and reached for one far away from where he was standing. When he entered the pavilion, he was stretching his trunk to take one that fell away from him. That instant, the trunk looked like a black snake. The trunk of the elephant looked like a black snake. And I realized that Kari was the thief. Then he immediately realized that the culprit, the thief was this Kari. I went to him, pulled him out by the ear, and joyously showed my parents that it was Kari and not I that had eaten all the fruit these many weeks. Immediately he caught hold of him by ear and very joyously, because he discovered the thief, and called all the family members and showed them he was the thief. And a solution was found for the disappearance of bananas for these many weeks. Then I scolded him. Scolded here means rebuked. He rebuked him, for elephants understand words as well as children. So this elephant can understand the words like children. And I said to him, next time I see you stealing fruit, you will be whipped. That is a warning that the narrator gave Kari. If the narrator would see him taking or stealing bananas without permission, he would definitely whip him, that beat him. He knew that we were all angry with him. So immediately the elephant realized that all the members of the family were angry with him, even the servants. His pride was injured. Actually, his self-pride was injured when he was caught, that he never stole another thing from the dining room. So after this incident, he never stole anything from the dining room, because the first incident that really hurt him. And from then on, if anybody gave him any fruit, he always squealed as if to thank them. After this incident, if anybody who gave him any fruit, he thanked them in the way of squealing, producing the trumpet sound. So one question, did the narrator punish or warn Kari, and why? Did the narrator punish Kari? He did not punish him, but he warned him, because it is the first step of rectifying a wrongdoing. We can give a warning. And Kari also did the same thing. After that warning, Kari did not turn to the former way of stealing things. He rectified his character, because when he was caught red-handed, he felt his pride injured. Another question, what was the incident that hurt Kari's pride? The incident was he, for a few weeks, stole bananas from the dining room, and the family was totally confused who was doing this. And finally, the narrator caught hold of him red-handed, and he was produced before everyone. And when everyone started scolding him, his pride was injured. That is the answer. Come to the last paragraph of the second part. An elephant is willing to be punished for having done wrong, but if you punish him without any reason, he will remember it and pay you back in your own coin. That is the end of second part. An elephant is willing, like humans, to be punished if it has done any wrong. But if you punish him without any reason, he will keep that in his mind, and whenever he gets a chance, he will punish back you in your own coin. Now answer this question. Mention one special characteristic of elephants in general, as according to the narrator. The concluding paragraph says that the elephant is ready to be punished if it has done any wrong. But if you punish him without any reason, he will remember that punishment and give you back in the same coin. So this section deals with the petty crime and punishment. That we have already learned. What was the petty crime, the small crime that this elephant did, and what punishment he got. How will you react with punishment for petty mischiefs of your own? So your personal question is, how will you react with the punishment for petty crimes or petty mischiefs of your own? Answer in a favorable way, that the elephant learned a lesson. That is the end of part 2.